Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. We recently just finished this game, we had a fun time of it, and I wanted to come back and do a video sharing my tips as well as a progression guide on how to get to certain places or how to figure certain things out. It's not going to be a complete comprehensive guide, there's just not enough time for that, but I'm going to go over as much as possible so that your time is spent playing the game and not Googling the internet trying to figure out what to do next. Quick tips before we get started. Whenever you create your game for the first time, it'll give you a difficulty mode choice. You won't be able to customize things here, unfortunately, but once you get into the game, you'll be able to adjust specific things, so don't worry too much. Some other things to look out for while you're exploring the environment. You're going to come across these Dwarven statue chests looking things. You're going to find Dwarven statues in the environment specific to that chest. Insert enough of them and you'll unlock it and unlock all the goodies within, typically some kind of recipe or two, as well as some resources. Also keep an eye out for little, I guess they're like little camp hearth sites. And you'll find a little book there. Those are little ranger journals. You're going to find pages in the environment specific to that journal. Other pages may not work on that journal, just so you know. And getting enough of those inserted into that journal will unlock, again, typically recipes of some kind. Another thing to keep an eye out for are statues. This is super important. Repair every statue that you find in the environment. It unlocks very important gear for you to craft. So anytime you see a broken statue, repair it. And along those lines, make sure that you bring some standard stuff with you. You're going to need a lot of wood for platforms so you can get over the darkness that you'll find, stone to repair the statues. Eventually you need granite to repair the advanced statues, coal to create hearths, which are like temporary starter bases. You'll get the idea whenever you get into it. And then you also need some black diamonds and true quartz once you get into the game far enough. But keep some of these resources with you at all times, and you won't have to run around trying to find these things as you're looking, getting stuff done. The last tip I want to quickly go over, and this is more for the newcomers, you're going to come across a broken mapstone relatively quickly, and you're not going to be able to repair it because you need black diamonds. Now, black diamonds, super rare resource, don't bother looking for it until mid-late game. So if you're like discouraged that you're not repairing these things right away, don't be. It's meant to be that way, and you can get black diamonds by killing orc camps typically and looting their chests. But anyway, mapstones, it's a fast travel network. Make note of where they are, repair them when you can, but also hold on to some black diamonds because you need them to progress the story. Alright, let's go ahead and progress through this as quickly as possible. We'll start with the starter area, which is the aftermath and the tutorial of the game, and then you'll eventually make your way into Westgate. This is where you'll find iron, coal, stone, the basic of resources. Just mine and explore to your heart's content, fix statues up, and just uncover as much as you can. The area isn't that big. Eventually you'll make your way into the Elven Quarters. Before we go any further, it's worth mentioning real quick that these maps are procedurally generated. That means that my map will not look like your map. So I can't tell you to go this way, then turn left. It's just not going to happen. It's up to you to explore your environment and try and find passageways that would otherwise be hidden. Because there are some times where you'll be going around, where do I go next? And there's always that little rock that you can dig out that leads you to that new area. So don't get frustrated, just keep looking, okay? So eventually you'll make your way into the Elven Quarters, and this is where you can get elven wood. There's various food for recipes. You can hunt animal for food. This is where our second base was. We had our first base in Westgate, as is typical. And then I moved on to the Elven Quarters, and that's kind of where we were for quite a bit of time until we moved our base after that. We just kept sort of moving all of our resources with us when we got to our next location. We finally settled on a later location once we got our mapstones up and running. But when you get to the Elven Quarters, just get it looted because you're going to need a lot of that stuff. And also you're going to find the Great Narvi Forge. This is necessary because you're not going to have a forge of your own for right now to get some of what you can craft there. So make note of its location, come back to it as needed, and craft what you need. Once you're ready to move past the Elven Quarters, you'll make your way into the Mines of Moria. Highly recommend that you get a lot of torch materials, that way you can light your way, because this is where things start getting a little weird with the map. You'll be going up and down, and the map doesn't really help you figure out depths. So you kind of have to use torches to find your way throughout the environment. So highly recommend bring torches so that you can sort of light your way as you go, and also some wood platforms that you can, you know, get down from places without taking fall damage. You're also going to be fighting some goblins or whatever it is that's lurking down there. This is, by the way, where we made our final base. We've always come back to this location. We just grew upon this base, and let me tell you, it's so much fun doing that. I mean, the nice thing about the Mines of Moria, there's a lot of resources there, some of which you can't dig out right away. You'll find tin, like that you can dig out, but you're also going to find like granite, and you can't dig that out right away, not without a better pickaxe. You'll also find a little bit of gold and copper and silver. There's some things that you can't get to yet. So you're going to come back here anyway, and you'll get your map stones up and running pretty soon. So this is where we just kind of made our final base and we expanded upon it. You can build better hearths that have a wider base area, and that way you can, you know, make your base bigger and just grow it over time, which is wonderful. Eventually you'll make the Forge of Khazad-dûl. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, because you'll need that for a tier 2 steel pickaxe in order to advance much further. Next is Orctown. You'll find this in the Mines of Moria. It's like a red area that'll appear on your map. Kill the boss, get its stuff. This is where you start getting black diamonds. So typically you'll find some orc chests. Just destroy the center banner. You'll get a key for that chest, open it up, and typically there's black diamonds in there. Save your black diamonds for now. Yes, they are used for the map stones, but you'll need a bunch of black diamonds to repair something coming up very soon. And in case I didn't mention it, I'm pretty sure I did, you're going to be coming back to the Mines of Moria to mine out some of the more rare resources. So my advice is, you've got map markers, use them. Make note of, you know, copper veins, gold ore veins, that kind of thing, granite, just everything that you come across that you can't mine out, make note of it. Resources are somewhat scarce. Yes, like wooden boxes will reappear and other resources reappear, but these wall resources will not reappear. So you're going to need a lot of stuff, especially coal, because there's not a whole lot of coal deposits toward the late game. So just stockpile what you can now so that you have it for future use. So as you explore the Mines of Moria, you'll come across the Crystal Descent. You'll know it when you see it. There's a huge like winch machine, something that you need to fix on the surface. And if you look down into the hole, it's very deep. There's a bottom, but you have to get there. It's just a giant pit, and you'll see some blue crystals lining the walls. That's where you need to go next. So you're going to need a lot of black diamonds to repair that winch, some elven wood, and some other things. My advice here, bring a crap ton of wood for platforms and some fiber material for your... you can make a platform with ladders. This is super helpful here. Also, make sure you bring some metal so that you can craft torches. That way you can kind of light your path as you're making your way down in case you have to come back for whatever reason. If you have the ability to make a map stone, maybe you might want to consider it, but there is a map stone typically on the surface of the crystal caverns and on the bottom, so you won't really need one going down, but you know, it wouldn't hurt to have them anyway. So as you're descending, keep an eye out for purple smoke. This is like corrupt smoke, and if you linger in it too long, you get despair and then you start taking damage. You can pass through these areas vertically, so as long as you don't stay on its same horizontal plane. So you can be like right above it or right below it and it won't affect you. So again, platforms will help here. Just, you know, put one above, put one below, and drop through it, and you shouldn't take any damage. Just be careful, don't fall all the way down and kill yourself. In the lower deeps, which is where you'll get to once you reach the bottom, you'll find resources like resin, salt, lots of little, like, weird trees that give you ubasam wood. Quick note, whenever you enchant your axe in the future at a rune table, there's a specific enchant that you can put on your axe that whenever you chop down a tree, there's a chance you'll get iron wood. So you'll come back to this area with an enchanted axe at some point, and you can also get a chance to get iron wood, which is kind of a step up from the ubasam wood that you'll find down here. There are several points of interest that you'll want to find and probably need to find in order to progress past this part. So the lower deeps has 4 major areas that I just want to quickly highlight. one of which is the drain pumps. You'll know it when you see it. It's a huge body of water. I won't spoil what's in there. But once you get past that, you'll have to repair the drain pumps, and you have to in order to progress to the next part. You'll also want to find the Pilgrim Library. This is super important because without it, you can't get the hammer recipe that you need in order to fix the stairs, which are coming up later. And then there's also the Great Belagost Forge. It's another forge similar to the other one that you found in the Elven Quarters, and it will be able to you'll be able to craft new things there that you weren't able to craft before. There's also going to be maybe 3 or 4 areas in the game, maybe more, maybe less. You're going to come into this room. It looks like a dead end, but there's also these wooden planks that you'll see with a huge pit leading down. I fell down that in my playthrough, and I stayed away from that forever until I realized I needed to go down there to get things. It's an area where you're going to be... light will not protect you from the darkness. So what you're going to want to do is bring resources for a forge, or not a forge, the campfire thing, a hearth. And once you get that down, you're going to want to put a map stone down because getting back up is going to be a pain in the butt. So you're going to need a platform down and bring some light with you. But most importantly, bring the hearths and the mapstone materials that you'll need so that you can get out of there and back in quickly. And you'll need to do that in order to get some of the rare resources that are in the game. Once you get through the lower deeps, you'll enter the Tomb of Kings, a relatively short area, but you'll need to repair the eastern stairs with more black diamonds. And again, you can get black diamonds by finding these orc camps and these small orc camps, destroy the center banner, get a key from that, and then find the chest nearby, open up the chest. There's typically 2 or 3 black diamonds in there. Toward the later part of the game, orcs start dropping black diamonds automatically, but typically that's the best thing to do. Find orc encampments and destroy their banner and loot their chests for those black diamonds. But bring a lot of wood because you're going to need platforms. Going up this huge set of stairs is going to be treacherous. So make sure you've got platforms, which you'll need wood for. As you keep going up, you'll eventually locate an area called Dwarrowdelf. I think I'm pronouncing that right. There's not a whole lot here, but there are a couple of potential camp locations and some resources, different things like that. Ideally, though, you're going to try and get to the top. You'll eventually come to a bridge that's broken. You can't repair it until the end of the game, so don't try. And you can't make a bridge either. So just make note of it, put a map stone nearby, and come back to it later. It's also worth mentioning that you're going to come across a lot of broken chairs and tables. Some of these will drop ironwood. This is a step up from that Ubasam wood that I was talking about earlier. And this is where the primary source of your ironwood is going to be coming from. So loot all of the furniture that you see in the Dwarrowdelf and eventually the darker yellow area, the gold area called the Desolation, which is what I'll talk about next. But yeah, loot all of that furniture because you will need all of that ironwood. So this Desolation is going to be a pretty tough area. It's going to introduce you to the tier 5 equipment. You're going to come across things like Durin's Forge, which is a special area. There's a boss fight there, which I won't spoil too much, but it'll give you access to tier 5 armor, and you'll need to craft Durin's axe. You'll be getting 5 different fragments and combining those fragments there in order to create Durin's axe, which is like a legendary item that you can carry in your 0 slot. And you'll need it to get rid of those purple runes or those blockades that you see throughout your travels. You weren't able to get through them before, but now you can if your axe is assembled. You'll also come across the Nogrod Forge, which will give you access to tier 5 weapons. Once you've crafted Durin's axe, you'll be able to break the purple seals that you found along the way. There's going to be like 3 of them or so, and one of them's near the beginning of the game, and there's a couple of other ones scattered around. All you have to do is break through one of them, and that will take you to Durin's Highway. So all 3 of these purple runes, gates, whatever, they all sort of converge to one point. And then that leads you into Barazinbar. Barazinbar, sure. I didn't come up with these names. So long story short, find one of those purple runes, break it with Durin's axe, and that should take you to Barazinbar. You can also take out the other 2 purple runes from the other side if you want to. So last but not least, we have Barazinbar. I'm going to butcher that. So there's Star Metal here and Mithril. And if you can't find Mithril, it's okay, I couldn't find it either at first. Remember how I said there's going to be a few rooms with those planks on those pits, and you have to go down the pits to get the rare resources? Well, there's going to be one in Barazinbar, and you're going to find Mithril down there. So make sure you bring a mapstone and resources for a hearth so that you can get back up there without having to manually do it. Because again, light doesn't work down there, and you're going to take damage if you stay down there long enough. Why do you need Mithril? Because you're going to come across the Mithril Lode, which is a forge, and you'll be able to craft the last weapon of the game that you'll need in order to actually do damage to the final boss. To find the final boss, and this is a part that I had trouble with because this place is windy, loopy, the depths are annoying. Trying to find this place, it's there. Eventually, just keep digging and searching until you find a red area. That's the Redhorn Lode. Redhorn Lode. Once you get past all the orcs there, that's where the last boss is. And then once you defeat the last boss, you can get the hammer that you need in order to repair the bridge that I was referring to earlier that you couldn't cross until the end of the game. And then from there, end credits. At least for now. So there you have it. I try to keep things as spoiler-free as possible because I know part of this game is all about the exploration, but hopefully this video helps you to sort of guide you in the right direction when you're feeling lost. If you like this video, feel free to share it with other people, like it, whatever. Whatever you kids do nowadays, that would be wonderful. And if you have any specific questions, stop by my Discord channel and I'll see if I can help you. This is Vince. Thanks for watching. I'll catch y'all next time. Take care.